What up, y'all? It's Krazy here. Be sure if you haven't already watched, like, follow, subscribe on Instagram and YouTube. You can check out my latest, including right now this video on my Monday Night Raw prediction live in Minnesota and Minneapolis tonight. We are live, only a few hours away from my hometown on Monday Night Raw with the Minnesota Minneapolis live tonight. Raw predictions and 2 weeks from WrestleMania. Part 1 and 2 live in Las Vegas, and Backlash followed it up in good old fashioned St. Louis, Missouri, with John Cena and Randy Orton, one of the ghosts and legends of this generation, to affect and the WWE. Let's not mention the Hall of Fame legendary as well. Got some Raw and SmackDown predictions, commentary, shoutouts, Raw comic, SmackDown results. I got some Raw and SmackDown live from Chicago when I was there around Survivor Series last year. I was in Chicago last week for a SmackDown around this year, around WrestleMania. I also got Monday Night Raw as we were in Minnesota a few hours away, like I said, from my hometown for Monday Night Raw. I also got some W Live, NXT, and AEW from earlier this year, live here in my hometown. I got After Raw and SmackDown went off air. I also got some gameplay, some freestyle rap videos, so gameplay's on there, freestyle rap videos on there. Raw and SmackDown prediction part of the creative team, and my podcast will be hitting up tomorrow for the week, as well as commentary / reaction for what happens tonight on Monday Night Raw, as well as this Raw prediction that'll be added along. If you want to see the Raw and the SmackDown predictions and updates, you can check out the page in the story playlist. If you want to see them, if you want to see the Raw comics, you can check out my other WWE Raw comics by Korean KZK playlist. You can also check out Famous People and Me playlist with the Raw and the SmackDown WWE Live NXT AEW live full shows, and even after Raw and SmackDown went off air. And you can check out my gameplay on my new WWE gameplay with Korean KZK. It's also got some Hitman Absolution gameplay on there as well. And you can check out my Korean KZK Rathman for the new and following subscribers, latest freestyle that I did as well. And you can check out this, which is going to be added to my page and story, Raw predictions for tonight live in Minneapolis on Monday Night Raw. 2 weeks from WrestleMania season. Everybody's going to be in there. We got Seth freaking Rollins, what is on his mind, to CM Punk having Paul Heyman in his corner to WrestleMania. That's what we're going to find out. Then we're also going to find out, is Adam Pearce going to do what he should have did? He said he was going to handle it. So, let's see how he handles it. Is he going to do Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky versus Bianca Belair for the Women's World Championship belt? They'll all come out here and make their claim and get it officialized for them to come sign a contract next week on Raw. Them to come out tonight and speak amongst it, and then come out next week on Raw, officialize it, to sign a contract for the triple threat for the Women's World Championship belt. So is that going to happen, is the question. Like we all want to see. And, because it's been going on way too long, and we're already this close to WrestleMania, they need to make it happen. And we're going to find out what Penta gets some revenge on Dominic in the singles action for the Judgment Day, what they did last week, including Braun Breaker probably going to looking over his shoulder as another part of the Judgment Day member, Finn Balor's guys' eyes on the Intercontinental Championship. But will they get some revenge for what happened last week in that tag team match? And then maybe next week, get even more revenge for that steel chair, and then maybe Penta and Braun Breaker can go for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. And speaking of Intercontinental Championship belts and all that, and situations, we had a women's Intercontinental Championship belt on the line between Lara and Bayley. I think that Liv Morgan and Raquel are going to delay it, and they're going to have to go through Natalya and Maxine. They were talking about, some plans. Maybe they got a tag team going on next week on Monday, and whoever wins that will take on Liv and Raquel for the tag team championship at WrestleMania. I think that's what's going to happen with that Intercontinental Women's Championship belt. It'll be Lara and Bayley fighting, and then they're going to have to deal with Liv and Raquel getting involved in the Intercontinental Women's Championship match. They're going to have to go through Maxine and Natalya, because they did speak of a creative tag team to be noticed, like a forgotten tag team to be noticed, and officialize Lara and Bayley, the Nightmare Huggers, to face Liv and Raquel for the Tag Team Women's Champions belt at WrestleMania. And maybe we can see Penta and Braun Baker and go for the Intercontinental Championship once they handle the Judgment Day tonight and next week for that steel chair. Them attacks from behind. And that men's one, I could imagine Paul Heyman might side with Seth Rollins since he's played manipulated, he's played mind games, he's played it good and well. So it only makes sense that maybe Paul Heyman could be playing both CM Punk and Roman Reigns and being on Seth Rollins' team at WrestleMania. I'll talk a little bit more about that in my podcast and explain why. So that's what I think is going to happen. I think Penta is going to get some revenge against Dominic in the singles action for a damage control. Or not damage control, the Judgment Day. Got away with last week and the week before. So I think Penta can show why he is one of the best underground, Lucha Undergrounds for a reason. And the second king, because he's second to Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio is the king of Lucha Underground. But Penta is definitely second Lucha Underground king. Get his revenge on Dominic tonight. And that's the start of the Judgment Day for that tag team last week, let alone him and Braun Breaker going for the Intercontinental Championship, because he's going to be lurking over his shoulder for Finn Balor. He said something about going after it. And I think Laura and Bayley, they're going to have to team up and go against Liv and Raquel for the tag team titles at WrestleMania once they get through Maxine and Natalia. Why not earn their opportunity? Talk about land of opportunities and opportunities to WrestleMania. Why not earn themselves a tag team women's championship opportunity? Speaking of tag team champions, we got the War Raiders. I feel like it's going to walk in and out Raw tag team champions because Raw is War Raiders to be our tag team champions against the New Day tonight, who qualified last week. So with that being said, that clears up the air of all the situations that's going to happen tonight. And I think main event Jey Uso, he going to get his revenge on Gunther for what he did to Jimmy. That's all it is to it. Ain't no talking at this point. That was just plain ridiculous, out of contact. He should be fined, because that was really despicable display and unnecessary for Gunther to do that. I think main event Jey Uso is going to crash out and show why you don't mess with Jey Uso, why you don't undermesh Jey Uso, why main event Jey Uso could whoop and dominate and destroy Gunther tonight and send him on his ass this time. Not running, on his ass, to make sure main event Jey Uso get his message across that he is ready for that world championship this time at WrestleMania. And stop doubting him, stop putting him down. You definitely don't mess with the bloodline. You definitely don't mess with their family. So with that being said, those are my Raw predictions for tonight. Those are my updates. Make sure you watch, like, follow, subscribe, and Instagram and YouTube. Crinkers Gal. Peace. And we also, speaking of the updates in WrestleMania and opportunities before we end this video out, one last thing I want to mention, speaking of that Penta and the Intercontinental Championship belt, I think that Braun Breaker can come on top of Penta, Finn Balor, and Dirty Dom in a fatal four-way for the Intercontinental Championship belt at WrestleMania, as it's been announced for the Fatal 4-way Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. I think that Braun Breaker is going to show who I let the dogs out. And Braun Breaker is going to walk in and out as our Intercontinental Champion against Finn Balor, who wanted the opportunity. Dominic, who deserves equal amount of opportunity because he helped in the tag team. And Penta, handled Penta for what happened last week with that brawl fight on Monday Night Raw WrestleMania. And then Finn Balor, who just wants an opportunity, lost. And Dominic, why not? The Judgment Day caused all these issues in the first place. That's how Braun can get his revenge for that tag team at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental Championship. I'll let that dog out while Penta handles Dominic tonight. What happened with the Judgment Day in the sticky situation last week on Raw. Not to mention we got one more Raw what happened with the steel chairs and the injury match. But I guess we'll find that fatal four for the Intercontinental Championship out at WrestleMania. Oh yeah, and our Raw manager, as he would say, Adam Pearce, has made it breaking news official. And with that being said, make sure y'all watch these Raw predictions. I'm going to do my Raw shoutouts, my Raw comment tonight. Hitting up a podcast and commentary / Monday Night Raw. Commentary / reaction tomorrow. And not only did I do my Raw prediction tonight, there's going to be Raw shoutouts to Instagram and social media. If you want to be involved in the Snapchat, the shoutout, the picture of the shoutout. And then I'm going to do my Raw comment along with the other playlists to be successful more than the last one. And I'm going to be streaming and updating my account and some more gameplay, so I can stream some more games, have some more room for it. Also, there's going to be a podcast for the week, before and after that, tomorrow. Commentary / reaction on Monday Night Raw. Yes, it will be no longer than right on time. So be sure to hit that up and check it out. Green Kisses K out. Watch, like, follow, subscribe, and stream on YouTube so you don't miss the podcast for the week tomorrow. You don't miss the Raw commentary / reaction, as we're 2 weeks away from Monday Night Raw. You don't miss the Pages story updates and predictions, because I just catch you up with some breaking news. And you don't miss the shoutouts that you could be adding to the video along with the Raw comic. That better be better than the last one, because it is a lot of information and it's great, it's awesome, and it's everything you needed to know and want to know more. Plus, there's Raw and SmackDown live videos on there, and there's gameplay on there already, and even more. So that's just icing on the cake. You get 2 for the price of 1. That being said, Green Kids K out, and oh yeah, it'll be right on time, the podcast.